can't see my screen.
Oh, all right.
Well,
you're good. You're live.
All right, cool. Hey, I'm live. What's up, guys? I can't see anything. We're running a hoc. What's it called? Ad hoc. We did such a good intro on the last one too.
Yeah,
It's such a bummer. Sorry, guys. We're having audio issues. Somebody give me a thumbs up if the audio is better. It's something. It's always something with the audio. This time it was there's a ghost in the system, and it always resets itself. And so we had the I'll tell you what happened. We have 4 different cameras going on here, and one of the microphones on one of the cameras it's always set to off, but this one was set to on. So anyways, we're getting some weird echoing, so this is the second try. And if you're just watching this for the first time, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyways,
yeah,
we should have just pretend like this never happened.
Yeah,
anyways.
Sounds good now.
Yeah, perfect. All right, awesome. So anyways, just to do a quick recap, Shane's going to do some news for us. We got a lot of stuff going on in the news. I'm going to talk about what's been going on at the shop and some shop news type stuff. And if you guys want, if you notice, we're kicking up some dust here. If you want, Shane's going to put the phone number up. You guys can call in. You can give us your hot take. And if you're a little bit more timid, if you're a keyboard warrior, type away. Let us know. We'll try to do our best to keep up with comments. If you guys got something you want to say, keyboard, whatever, use that. Use comments. Chime in. We want this to be a communal thing, so we want this to be part of not just me and Shane talking to each other. Nobody wants to see that.
I do feel like we have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, we were off for a week, and now we're back. I'm a little bit under the weather still, but I'm going to try not to cough too much today. So anyways, looks like we're getting good audio. Thumbs up. So
Well, now we're strobing out because you're moving too fast.
Oh. All right, I'll try to.
That's fine. All right, you want to do the news? I'm going to do the news.
Yeah, Shane,
Let's
roll
just get
it.
into
Roll.
the news here. All right. Nope. Let's get rid of that. The officer, it only makes 200 watts. 200 watts my ass is what that says there. All right. And of course, I've been signed out. Anyways, guys, I think how do you pronounce it? It's a dyno runs. A dynometer.
Oh,
A
dynometer.
dynamometer.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is sorry for the.
So race cars use this when they're trying to test their horsepower when you're going to the track and stuff, and you're trying to see like, oh, I got 1,000 horsepower at the wheels. You'll see those at shops. They'll put it on a dyno. I guess it's kind of funny to see a e-bike on a dyno, but yeah, they're testing it to see how much power it's putting out, and that's kind of cool. I saw this in the news, and I was like.
The Dutch police, this is coming from the Netherlands. The Dutch police using portable chassis dynamometers. I'm going to call them dynos, also known as chassis dynos, to enforce strict regulations on electric bicycles in the Netherlands. So these regulations include power limit of 250 watts and a speed limit of 25 kilometers per hour for pedal assist. Many e-bike users are modifying their bikes to exceed this limit, leading to safety concerns and an increase in fatal bicycle accidents. So to address the issue, police have equipped themselves with new portable dynos to detect illegal e-bike violators.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Warnings and fines.
I know, and I'm so glad that we live in the USA still. And I don't know if they're ever going to come down and crack down on it like this, but so far, even 750 watts, I still feel like is still good. It's still a good amount. I feel like 200 or 250 watts is just, I don't think it's enough. But man, I saw that they're crazy. They're cracking down on it.
Yeah.
I don't like, unless it's a problem. Like, are people getting hurt there? Why would you need to really do that? I don't know. Maybe it's a bigger problem than we think, but you don't hear a whole lot about high powered e-bike accidents here, at least. Like, it's not like rampant, I don't think. I mean, occasionally here or there, yeah, but how many motorcycle accidents do you hear about? Way more.
They do say the rise of e-bike usage correlates with an increase in fatal bicycle accidents, prompting stricter enforcement measures.
Yeah, I would love to see the data on what, like, I don't know, like, was it carelessness? Just they would have been into an accident anyway, and they just happened to be on an e-bike, or was it because of that power? Like, I find it hard to believe, but I don't know. I don't like it, but unless it's causing big problems, I don't like that like people cracking down and checking your power. I don't like it, but I
All
don't
right,
know.
so this one's closer to home. It's here in the United States, California. California Assemblywoman Tasha Borner has introduced a bill that would require electric bicycle riders in California who are at least 12 years old but don't have a car's driver's license. So I guess if you don't have a driver's license, then you have to go get an electric bike license. So this is a bill that is going to get voted on. We'll see where it goes. But this would involve completing an online course, passing a written test, and obtaining a state ID. So the bill aims to address safety concerns and regulate the increasing number of young e-bike riders who often lack knowledge or disregard traffic laws.
Yeah.
I guess be careful out there anyhow.
I don't know. I know that so many people are just getting so angry in their seat right now, just like
Get heated.
yeah, they're like, they're so heated right now. Like the whole point of getting an e-bike was so I don't have to get registration and insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It is gonna happen. Some sooner or later, you're getting all these teenagers who are just riding it and they're having fun, and then they crash into something or other, and you get people who are just using it. And yeah, we're gonna have to eventually, unfortunately, I think. But for right now, we're still in the golden era of e-bikes, where people are still just like, they don't really care about it. There's not too many people, so we gotta embrace this time, man.
Yeah, for sure. So critics argue that the bill may be overly restrictive and suggest alternative measures, such as incorporating road safety education into school curricula. That sounds like a good idea. Why not?
Well, yeah.
Like get some, just teach them while they're in high school or whatever. This is how you got to rethink how we learn to ride a bike. But supporters emphasize the importance of road safety, but also highlight the benefits of e-bikes in reducing emissions and congestion in cities. Here's another one. This is from New York. Some more. I'm going through all the kind of the negative stories here.
Yeah, man, you're a downer.
So in New York, they have a city lithium-ion task force.
Wow.
Let's go. A whole group of guys that are laying down the law in New York. So they recently shut down a Queens e-scooter business for repurposing lithium-ion battery packs, labeling them Frankenstein batteries. So that's the task force is using that term, Frankenstein batteries, in violation of fire codes. So I mean, it is maybe these shops should have repercussions. I mean, if they're not doing things the right way,
especially in New York. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. Frankenstein batteries, like that is when people are cobbling and making their own repairs and they're not doing them super properly, and yeah, that's why all these things are. That's what's gonna hurt this industry the most. That's why I'm not opposed to this whatsoever. Because that's hurting this industry. That's what's gonna cause regulations. That's what's gonna cause all this stuff. But if we could just get the safety down right, it's better for everybody. So if you are opposed to that, think about it. It's good for everybody.
So the task force includes fire marshals and consumer protection departments. Basically, the shop was charged with 31 violations, citing uncertified batteries and devices. This crackdown follows legislation passed last year due to increasing fires and deaths linked to faulty lithium-ion batteries. Yep. And then there's the last one, just to kind of hammer it home. Let's be safe out there and be responsible with our electric bikes, because there's a town in the UK that is just gonna crush them. If you get caught being antisocial on your e-bike, they'll take them and they'll crush them. So police in Hampshire have initiated Operation Crush to combat antisocial behavior involving e-scooters and e-motorcycles. Under this operation, officers have been given the authority to crush these electric vehicles if they are linked to criminal activities or pose risks to the public.
I think it's funny that they're antisocial.
Look at that's this guy's job.
This guy, yeah, he's the antisocial police. He looks antisocial. Well, they're gonna destroy. It looks like a Sur-Ron there too. That's what I'm mad about that. Don't crush it, but yeah, they should impound it and then just put it on police auction like a normal society does.
Crush it.
Yeah, let's crush it. This is Ukraine. We crush it. The weakness. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Right,
well,
so that's the news.
That's sad. Also in the news too, I was gonna talk about. A lot of people have been bringing to my attention that EcoCycles has gone. They shut their doors, and I don't think it was because they were like doing bad business or anything, at least according to their Facebook page. But something to do with, and you could go on their Facebook page and check it out. But I guess like the owner was doing like some humanitarian stuff with like human trafficking, and he was getting some threats and stuff, and he was saying that it was gonna pose problems to his employees. So it sounds like it was, a really tough situation. So that sucks. I honestly was not too aware of EcoCycles, to be honest, but people did bring that to my attention. I've had a few people reach out to me and ask about it, and I was like, I didn't really know about it. But then I read about it, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. So yeah, RIP EcoCycles, but it sounds like the owner is onto greener pastures anyways, doing some good stuff, fighting a good fight. So anyways, just wanted to give a shout out to them. Sorry they were put in a bad situation. But yeah, so anyways, we got any comments chiming in? We got anything to go off of? Have you been keeping an eye on the chats at all?
Let's see. So Luke Walker said that Russell had a interesting narrative, and Russell says that the problem is that a super PAC for analog bikes is poisoning the well by boilerplating crappy legislation, then encouraging states to adopt it, which several have. That's an interesting narrative. Yeah.
All right. I feel like I don't know. I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, it was.
You lost. I need 5-cent words. But yeah, I probably agree with you. I probably do. But yeah.
Looks like Big Brother watchdogging EV is the next wave.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't get to that point. But we got to stop knuckleheads from doing stupid stuff. We're all knuckleheads, right? I'm a knucklehead. You're a knucklehead. We're all knuckleheads. But do it smartly. Be a knucklehead smartly. We like to have fast bikes. If you want to build a motorcycle, build a motorcycle. Or if you're going to build a really fast e-bike, do it responsibly. If you're going to be riding it fast, don't do it around people. Just things like that. Super common sense stuff like that. Let's be good for the community. Let's not get each other in trouble. We like riding e-bikes. We like riding our custom converted e-bikes. Let's keep it that way. Let's not get each other in trouble. I don't think the U.S. is ever going to adopt the EU legislation. I don't know how the EU ever adopted the EU legislation of 250 watt. In some places, it's only 350 watt. It's like nothing. I mean, really, it's like somebody put in there, I saw in the comments that it's like pushing a rusty shopping cart or something. I'm like, I kind of agree with that. It's like, that's not a lot of power. And we're trying to, anyways, I feel like I talk about this every week, but we're trying to like make this the new car replacement. Like let's make it, let's give it its best push. Like let's not handicap it and cut its legs off before it even gets off the ground. Like let's give this a push. Let's get people out of cars. Let's make it viable. Let's make it, I don't know, the best. And then maybe once it's widespread, then we could start legislating it more. Like when cars first came out, they didn't start legislating the crap out of it before anybody was even buying it. No, they had the Model Ts, they did all this stuff, and then they built the infrastructure for it, and then they came out with the legislation of speed limits and all that jazz.
Mr. Bad Dabbing says that the Netherlands has an incredibly high percentage of people who ride bikes. So imagine our freeways filled with pedal bikes, and now motorcycles want to use the road.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like Denmark, like the Netherlands and all that stuff, they do. The bike riding is insane compared to here. Like the adoption rate, people like their cars too much here, and so yeah, I guess it is different out there. I shouldn't really be speaking on it, but I still don't like it. What else do we got here? Well, I guess I could keep talking about some other stuff going on in the shop. I've placed an order with CYC. I placed an order I got the Gen 4s coming out, the X1s. Those should be coming here any day. And I saw a viewer emailed me the Facebook post from CYC about their photons. They're not going to be coming out with the Gen 2s, but they have made substantial upgrades, according to them, to the components in the photons. So, and that was like as of yesterday or something, as of yesterday or today or something, they made an announcement. So as of yesterday, I placed an order for more photons. So I'm going to be carrying the photons again going forward. So if you did want to buy through our shop, if you want to support the shop, you can pre-order them right now. And so as soon as we get them in, you could be the first in line from that. So
they're not Gen 2. They said they were going to do it like a second generation.
Yeah, they were talking about doing that. They wanted to have the Gen 2s, but I don't know why they're not going with Gen 2s. They really should. They should clear the air because it's well documented. You go on any forum, there was plenty of issues with the photon, and I would want to separate myself from that issues and say, hey, Gen 2, so that people can know I got the Gen 2, this one is fail safe, but they're not. They're quietly doing that, which I don't think that's a good play, but I think it's a good move that they're improving the motors. I think that's the right way to go, but I think labeling it correctly would be even one step better so that people know I got a Gen 2, this one is good. I mean, it's same thing with like cars. And it's like when you have a new model year, it's like, okay, the 2023s, they had these problems. 2024s, they addressed it. They came out with this. So I don't know.
So did they say what the problem is and what they changed?
It's on their Facebook page, I think. Somebody sent it to me. They said they re-engineered something. I'm going to butcher it. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have it pulled up. But they said something like they re-engineered. I think they did something with like the controller and something with the motor. They retooled it so that it's more. I think they kind of vaguely described it too, but. So anyway, I don't know, but apparently the new photons are going to be more resilient, more reliable. I still think we were just talking about this before the show, and it was like, Shane was talking with another shop, and they were like, we haven't heard of any problems with the photon, and we're like the complete opposite. And there's a lot of other people and a lot of other shops that I've talked to as well, and customers who have bought from other shops saying the same thing. I'm just like, it's been a lot of problems. And I think it's as soon as you unlock it to do the 2,000 watts, it's like almost like a 80% chance you're going to have some sort of failure. If you don't unlock it, if you keep it to that 750 watts, you're more like maybe like a 10 to 15% chance. I have mine unlocked and I have not had any problems. Shane has his unlocked. He's had nothing but problems.
No, it's more than I have a lot of fun.
Right. But I mean, every time we go on a ride, you're like, yeah. You hear this? You hear that? And I can hear it like I hear it surging. And it's like,
I mean, but I'll admit, man. I mean, like the first thing I did was I unlocked it and I pushed it to the limit. Like that was my goal. I'm like, if this thing's gonna break, I want to break it.
And you did it.
Yeah,
you succeeded.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So I forget what my train of thought was with that, but hopefully they address that so when people unlock it, that it's not going to be super fragile like as it was. What else was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about, a lot of people were commenting. I saw Benji was asking about the program cable for that new M635. It's been like one step forward. It's so frustrating because I'm dealing with China, and so they're like 12 hours off. So at 8 o'clock at night, I'm starting to get emails for my responses of like, hey, this programming isn't working. And they're like, oh, try this, but it's like a day later. So it's like every day I make an incremental step. Hopefully they're going to be sending me a full length video on how to do it. I keep getting these videos, but they don't show things, and it's just frustrating. I've had these motors now for almost 2 weeks, and I'm not listing them for sale yet because I need to make sure that I got the firmware dialed in and it's ready to go. So I'm still being patient. I got the best control programmer from Bafang, so it's like the actual. It's not like the USB program cable that I carry here at the shop. This one is like the one from Bafang. It's a pretty pricey one. So yeah, I'm still frustrated with that. I've been wasting way too many hours on it with zero results. And what else do we have? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I want to talk about the new battery we got in. This one's been kind of exciting. This is the new wedge battery. This is a 52 volt 10 amp hour. I believe this one has the 50S cells, the Samsung 50S. 50S. So it's 520 watt hours, but this thing could put out 50 amps continuous. It's pack's a serious punch. It's got pretty much the same specs as my high performance 8 amp hour pack, but this one's a lot shorter. And I got the specs of this up on JohnnyNerdOut.com. If you go to the Wedge battery product page, it'll have the dimensions. But this is great. Right in front of me, I've got a full suspension bike, which this is going on. Because if you guys know full suspension bikes, you can't put a long shark on. It's way too long, and it's only a little. It's like this long. It just won't fit. So this is going to be great for small framed bikes, full suspension bikes, things like that. So this is really cool. You get the flexibility of a saddlebag battery, but the security of a shark pack. This thing will lock on. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be a good seller this year. I think there's like $350 at JohnnyNerdOut.com. So this is cool. I'm excited about this one. And let's see, what else do we have? I think that's about it. That's pretty much all we got.
Anything from Bafang with the M635?
Were you in the bathroom when I was talking about it?
Oh, I guess I was.
Yeah.
I was. I ran to the bathroom and I'm back.
He was doing some other stuff.
What did you say? What did you say?
I got the program. You want me to redo the whole thing?
Well, I don't just sum it up for me.
Still one step forward, one step back.
That's it.
I keep an email the thing.
So you haven't like talked to anybody like on the phone? It's all just through email.
Yeah. So, yeah. You can't talk.
No, I stopped listening, man. You say a lot of
boring. Snooze fest. I hear you. All right. So what's going on with the any comments? Any comments going on with?
Looks like they're just kind of doing their own thing.
You guys are going. This is just turning into a chat room. They turned the volume off and just. I have heard somebody was saying, or Whitney was saying that our frame rate is.
Yeah, I don't think it's us. That's something to do. That's what I was working on when you were.
Maybe it's our internet. I don't know.
No, our internet's good.
But yeah, we're gonna do.
I think YouTube's messing up.
If you guys want to call in, if anybody wants to chat, it's on Valentine's Day. If anyone's having a lonely Valentine's Day, just hey, call us. You know, we're here for you guys. It's cheap and it's free.
Look at that little shark battery nipper. What does nipper mean? Just a little guy?
Battery nipper?
It's a little nipper.
I guess so.
They're external controllers for the BBS HD that pushes them to the limits. Yeah. I've seen the guy on YouTube.
Yeah, and I always people are always like, "Oh, should I?" I was thinking about getting the BBS HD and then buying this external controller. I always recommend like don't do that unless you already have the BBS HD. If you're looking for something to do like 3,000, 4,000 watts, whatever, run 72 volts. Don't buy a BBS HD and then buy that controller to do that. You're going to end up spending so much more money. And the functionality, apples to apples, I would say go with like a CYC. Go with the X1. Even go with like the Gen 3 if you want to save some money. You could get those on sale. I think they had like the Gen 2s for like $800, $600, something like that when they were on closeout. I'm sure the Gen 3s will keep going down in price too. But yeah.
Mr. Bad Dabbing, question for you. Looking for more power on my BBS HD. Are there alternatives to a BAC 855 controller?
There's a lot. Lunicycle's got one, but I think that thing is like $600, and we're just like, I don't know who. I don't know. You gotta. I guess if you already have the BBS HD, then you could get that one. I think High Voltage has a kit. I'm not sure if it's the BAC though that he's using. I think the BAC is a pretty cheap alternative. Like if you just want to get something, I don't know, get something high voltage and cheap. But yeah, there's a lot. Oh yeah, Benji, you want to know? I'm trying to get that firmware on there, man. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating on this software. It's like nothing makes sense. And there's no good information on there. There's no information on this best program software on how to do this. So and I'm trying to deal with China and how to do this, and it's clumsy, but we're getting there. It's getting closer and closer.
Bad Dabbing says, not really looking for top speed, more hill climbing power, as he's a big dude.
Oh yeah, I think there's a side there's a side combo going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want me to turn the? I'm gonna open up the phone lines. So
I thought you did. Yeah, if somebody wants to call in.
If you guys don't know, John, you're a little under the weather.
I am a little under the weather.
I mean, I had some pizza a little bit ago, so I'm just a little sleepy. So anybody who wants to jump on and get a conversation going.
Yeah, and the new 2.7 motors have field weakening. I think it's out of the box. If not, there's a way to get field weakening with the new 2.7 motors. So yeah, and also with 2.7, I'm gonna be getting a lot more display options. I think they have like 9 display options right now. I'm gonna be getting all 9 of those. I'm gonna be getting a lot more chainring options from like 38, 42, 46, and 52, and they also gonna have 2 offset options. I think it's 42 and 46 and offset, which will be good. So yeah, 2.7 is still, they're slowly rolling out the accessories to make it a Bafang competitor. It's funny, I did a poll on YouTube asking which motor systems people are most excited about. It definitely seems like the Bafang M635 people are most excited about, kind of by far. And 2.7, I don't know why, but like a lot of people just don't seem to be like super excited about 2.7. There are definitely some people that are excited about it because it's super cheap torque sensing.
I feel like people were excited about it, like when it was first
before it was coming out.
When it was in the rumor bin, yeah, and it was.
And now that it's out, it's kind of just like.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it was kind of muted by the Bafang.
Yeah, they both kind of came out at the same time. It was kind of like a.
So then everybody got excited for the 635, and then forgot about the 2.7. So it was like it's almost like Bafang might have like pushed that out, in like too quick, right?
I wonder.
Compete with 2.7.
That's a good point. I wonder if they did do that. I wonder if it was. I mean, that's just so weird.
Because now you got people waiting before they're gonna buy the 2.7. Now they're like, oh, well, Bafang's got.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, because there's a lot of people in the queue waiting to see what that M635.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen like a lot of people are just like.
And those people might have been saying, "Oh, I was gonna get the 2.7."
Yeah, if they didn't know anything about the Bafang, they would have bought that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a call. I feel like Ghostbusters right now.
Call from.
Yeah, they didn't say their name.
We got a voicemail.
All right, you're live on JohnnyNerdOut.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to bother you. Sorry, it's Mike from New York.
Hey, what's up?
Answering my call. So I am drunk and alone on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. That's all right. That's what we're here for.
I have 2. Thank you. I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So, my first question is that I'm a customer.
Oh, cool.
And,
thank you.
I got the T, the T whatever, from you guys, and I made some upgrades to it, and I found that it was amazing how much safer and how much more enjoyable it made my commute, at least here in New York City. Obviously.
Are you talking about the 2.7 motor?
Or display?
No, I'm sorry. Not the 2.7.
You got the T1. You got the T1.
TZ.
Oh, wait.
The Tongsheng.
You got the Tongsheng.
Tongsheng.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what display do you have on it?
Never mind. He was talking about the Tongsheng.
It's the cheapest display.
I gotcha.
But I don't want it to.
Sounds nice.
I just want to.
Yeah, it's probably the VLDC5. Sorry, I was on a different track. I misunderstood you, and I was going somewhere else. I was like, what? But yeah, so yeah, you're having a good time with the Tongsheng?
I am sort of. Until I still am. It hasn't malfunctioned or anything, but I sort of identified some problems that needed to be solved with it, and I looked into the cost of sort of upgrading it. And while I did that for my own motor, with some 3D printed parts, some things I just did myself by grinding, but it doesn't seem like this is necessarily something that I could do in the long term to help the people. And that sort of runs into my second question, which is that if I do commit myself to, just going with more reliable equipment and, making sure that I've got the finite element analysis, I know the axle is not going to break, I know the battery is a whole other issue because I'm in New York City and I could be liable if the customer doesn't buy the battery from me. So
Are you a
really
shop?
looking forward. No, I'm just no. Actually, it's more the obvious. The first thing I did when I wanted to get an electric bicycle was to go to the local bike shop that still exists from at least 1970, probably before that, but probably much before that. But it's a family bike shop that where my parents bought my first bike for me.
Yeah.
And I went to them. They're like, no, we don't want to have anything to do with e-bikes. Insurance too high. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I thought there might be a niche in the market that I could take advantage of, but
sure.
I'm just looking at the equipment that's available. Do you think that? Is there some way? What are your recommendations? What are your thoughts?
Wait, recommendations on what? Sorry,
I think I'm keeping up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane, fill me in because I feel like I missed something.
No, there's definitely a spot in the market for bike shops that are out there and they're just doing like bike mechanic work, right? They're working on bikes.
Yeah.
They should absolutely be working on e-bikes too, or they should be carrying motors and doing.
We were
conversions.
just having this conversation, I think, yesterday when you're like, oh man, I feel like because you've been talking with some shops and stuff, and I was just talking like it blows my mind that bike shops, especially ones that are not selling e-bikes, that they're just like, I don't want to do. I know that they don't sell e-bikes because they're purist, but it also blows my mind that I'm like, if they did what we were doing, like if they were a conversion shop and they did conversions, they literally have a whole showroom of inventory that they could be converting. Be like, what bike do you want? Do you want an analog or do you want an e-bike? And then they could take that bike and outfit it with whatever motor, whatever battery. It's like, man, whatever you have the whole thing. Like, I have a small inventory of bikes because my thing is mostly the motors, motor accessories, adapters, all that stuff. That's the stuff that I want, that I make sure that I carry and all that. People bring me their bikes and then, we convert them here. We need to make sure that we have all those adapters and specialty parts and batteries and motors and all that. But long term, I would love to have a bike shop, an actual bike shop, and have all the different bikes, all like road bikes, gravel, like all the different bikes that I would want to have in my own garage, full suspension bikes, and just have them there. And then people can just come and say, I want that bike outfitted with this motor and that battery because I need to go this far. I want this rack. And we would outfit it and make their essential car alternative right there. That's what I would want. And I don't know if that's what you were kind of alluding to.
Mike, are you considering starting a conversion shop? Is that what you mean?
Well, I'm not gonna rent any real estate like tomorrow or anything. But if as soon as I begin to to offer my services to other people, I need to make sure that I'm offering a reliable product. And for sure, I mean, you emphasize Bafang. Bafang is a reliable product. The rest, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I just sell Bafang or?
Yeah, Bafang. I always tell people, I'm like, if you want reliable, go Bafang. If you want bells and whistles and like cool features, you go with the other stuff. I mean, you go.
Are the UL batteries like on the market now? I know we don't have that. I mean, you could always go that route if you want to just stay.
Yeah, there are some UL batteries out there. I can't think of any right now, and I really need to get on it about ordering my next batch. Should have some UL listed batteries on it because I do feel like there's a lot of people that do want it. But yeah, I would say Bafang is, if you want reliability and ease of repair, ease of everything, Bafang. Like that, it just will work, and if it doesn't, it's super easy to fix, and it's super cheap to fix too. Like no job is more than 15-20 minutes, and you could do it all with a M3 Allen wrench, and you could do it in anybody's garage, 15 minutes, and you could repair anything on there for under $100. Most of the parts are $10 to $15 if something breaks.
And I think a lot of people that are considering converting their bikes are already like doing the research on motors. So a lot of them, you could advise them a little bit. Oh, this motor's got problems. You might want to look into that. But I think the as far as reliability goes, it's probably where you're getting your batteries from, because I feel like things would go south quicker with battery issues.
Absolutely.
Than it would like just troubleshooting some motor problems.
I mean, every week you hear about it. Like you just brought it up in the news that shop in New York that was just making Frankenstein batteries. I mean, it's like that's the one thing that I'm always just like. That's why a lot of times I won't allow pre-made e-bikes in here for repair because I'm like, I don't know what kind of battery that is. A lot of these pre-made e-bikes have garbage batteries on them. Like, hey, you bought this whole e-bike for $600. Guess what? They cut a lot of corners, and probably the number one corner they cut was in the battery. You can't, if you're buying a complete e-bike for $600, you could barely buy a good bicycle for $600. First of all, like brand new. So you're talking about getting a battery, a motor, like it's a bike shop object, bike shaped object. Yeah.
I like this. Brad's wondering if we can create a mini franchise that will plug into a regular bike shop if we're supplying training and parts.
Yeah, we're trying that. Shane's kind of heading that. He's been reaching out to a lot of bike shops and trying to, kind of get us in there of like, hey, you guys got bike mechanics there that know your bikes. Maybe you don't know the motor side. We'll train you. We'll do this stuff, and we'll supply you with all the stuff. You need adapters, this. We're trying to get into that. And if you guys know a bike shop that's kind of like wants to get into it, like we want to help them. We want to be able to give them discounts and give them awesome service so that they should be doing conversions. Conversions are the future.
I think that most, if not all, bike shops should now be doing conversions.
It's so crazy. It's 2024, and there's still a lot of bike shops that are just like digging their heels in, and I'm like, man, you've got to change with the times, man. Like just ride a good bike, ride a good converted bike, and then maybe you'll be like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Maybe I was wrong. They probably rode a crappy pre-made e-bike that was heavy, weighed 80 pounds, had no power,
like
it
the
didn't
ones
feel like
the
a
ones
bike.
that you rent, like the
Yeah,
city
exactly.
bikes or
Yeah,
whatever.
of course those things suck. But like build one yourself with a good build a CYC Photon bike. Get like a nice bike that weighs 35 pounds, a nice hardtail, nice giant tailend. Put a Photon on it with a lightweight battery, like a saddlebag battery on it. You can lift it with one hand easily. Doesn't feel like an e-bike.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, any bike shop owner will be like, this is cool. This is cool. And if they're not, they're in the wrong industry. They got into the bikes for the wrong reason then. They just wanted to make money.
Mike, what are you drinking? Champagne?
Oh no, I prefer the bubbly stuff.
Prosecco?
Prosecco. Sorry.
Yeah, the sweet stuff.
Prosecco and the tongue shake. tongue twisters.
The Prosecco and tongue shake. Yeah, all right, well, right on.
I'll let someone else jump in.
Cool, man. Hey, thanks for chiming in.
Have a good one.
Cool. Hey, thanks. That's awesome. See, I like that. Chimed in, gave us a little topic to spiel off of. I know sometimes I feel like I could talk about that all day. And I always want to be careful that I'm not bashing bike shops because they are the backbone of this industry, and it takes a lot of. I mean, it does take balls to open up a bike shop because, especially like a few years ago, I feel like before the e-bike boom, like a lot of bike shops were going under. It wasn't a super profitable business to be in, especially if you were in the wrong demographic, if you were in the wrong geographical location. Like, it was hard. Let's see. Anybody else want to call in, or is there any other comments? You see anything going on there?
A lot of folks talking about the batteries. I think for us, it's to me anyways, it's easy for us to talk about our batteries because you've been working with like the same people, like the same like battery suppliers.
Yeah.
And you got that like open communication. You know the cells that they're putting inside the packs. And
yeah, and my rep is awesome. Like she's awesome. Like always responds super quick. Tells me everything. I'm like, hey, I need a specialty this. I need a specialty that. And she's like, okay, no problem. And like any adapter you guys need, if you guys need any like weird, like I need a, I had like an STI to Mini XLR adapters made up and any type of thing. I think I got like 8-foot cables made, like extension cables. No problem. It's like, it's awesome. So if you guys need stuff that nobody is making, like adapters, reach out to me. I could try to get that. Might not be super quick, but I could have. I got an in. I got a guy. I got a girl, I should say, in China. But yeah, and it took me a while to get there too. I mean, when I first started, I think I was using UPP quite a bit. When I first started, and at the shops that I was working at before, they were using UPP. And then, they were okay, but their failure rate was a little bit higher than I liked. And then I found this place, and it's been great. So
I didn't see UPP coming up in the news.
No, and
after a couple weeks ago, did they kind of clear up their?
I think so. I don't think it was as big of a deal as people were making it out to be. And UPP is like, I still would recommend, like, I still don't like not recommend them. It was one battery that was bad. It was a 52 volt, 20 amp hour triangle bag that was bad, because I think they were just using bad cells or something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I for a while I probably ordered from them to get some very specialty batteries, even like not too long ago. So I mean, I still have some of their batteries here, and I'm not worried at all about them. Let's see.
I was actually thinking about logging into Discord. It'd be cool because we got some like pictures of some cool bikes.
Yeah, we do got. So yeah, if you guys want to join us on our Discord, just go to JohnnyNerdOut. We're on Discord, and you can post if you guys got some cool builds. You guys got some tips, tricks. It's like a forum on crack. If you guys are into that. People got some cool gear that they got that are just, there's always new stuff coming out every day. There's so many different brands, so many different manufacturers making cool bike stuff. So yeah, I can only do so much. Shane can only dig so much, but a lot of this cool stuff I find is from you guys, and like people emailing me stuff of like, hey, did you check out this thing? You heard about this thing? And it's like, no, what is that? It's like, that's all, I want that. And,
well,
so,
I just saw Benji talking about he's got a BBS HD with a 72 volt battery.
I
wonder if that's the one that he did. Is that
he
the one
did.
that
He posted that one. That one was really cool. I forget which channel you put that on. I think it was on.
I don't know if you guys
the
care
Gear
if you put a picture of your bike, but we might show it if that's all right.
Yeah, can you pull it up? That was kind of cool.
See.
It was. Which one did he put that in?
Here, let me pop over here.
Gear Showcase, maybe? I think it was in Gear Showcase. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good job. So this is Benji. You've probably seen him posting on our chat.
That's pretty cool.
72 volt, 16.8 amp hour in there. That thing rips. And you're the one who put the zip ties through your cassette into the spokes.
I even provided proof here of his.
Love it. That's cool. I love that type of nerd stuff. That's why when I got my egg rider, I was like, this thing is awesome. But that display looks pretty sick. I thought
this one was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
That looks fun.
That does look fun. Man. So you got to get your full suspension bike, and we got to go hit some trails, go out in the mountains.
Got a cargo, but yeah, guys, get on the Discord. I gotta figure out how to share it, but get your bikes on here because there's some cool ones.
Yeah, you get some good ideas too. You're like, oh yeah, look at that. Like, oh, that guy used milk crates I should do that. I mean, it's a good idea. I love seeing that stuff. Empress. And whatever. You may be inspired by something on here that you didn't think about, or you might be like, hey, that's a nice clean looking bike. Maybe I just want a nice, simplistic, easy, clean looking bike. I always want that. Like I built my Benno carry-on, my cargo bike, and I wanted it to be just my what is it called? My Doomsday Armageddon Day bike that could just go. I wanted to be able to solar charge it all the time, put giant bags on it. But the thing weighs like 80 pounds, and I was like, sometimes I just want to ride on a single speed, super lightweight, 30-pound e-bike that I could just whip around and just carve the streets, And yeah, I don't know. You gotta have at least 6 bikes, I think. Let's see. All right, what's going on?
UPP has a mixed track record. Knowing the cells, as Shane says, is big. I don't know what.
Knowing the cells.
Do I say that?
Knowing the cells, as Shane says, is big. I can't. That language, I can't. It's like twisting my brain a little bit. I'm like, I think I know what he's saying, but I can't.
Any thoughts about Tesla batteries? They're just aren't they just 21,700s?
No, so I haven't been keeping up too much on Tesla. Are they manufacturing their own cells now? I know that they were just getting Panasonic cells for the longest time. I don't know if they actually have their own cells now or what. I'm not quite sure. But yes, they would be. Any cell, they were using headways. Those were the big ones before. Like 10 years ago, those were like the big. People are probably still using headways now. But they could put out like 50, 60 amps per cell. They're excellent at just putting out tons of power. So any battery technically can be used as long as the design is good, the physical size, and it can put out the specs that you need, the amperage and the amp hour ratings.
Bad dabbing, Johnny. Just want to say thanks for your channel, and you're the best bike is in your garage advice. I'll send you some pics of our conversions. Yeah, no, thank you, Mister, for
I still stand by it.
Being here.
For 8 times out of 10, sometimes 9 times out of 10, I stand by that. The best e-bike is in your garage. Sometimes, maybe that bike isn't, but absolutely for the most part,
might be in
totally
someone else's garage.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had people do that. They're like, "Oh man, I saw that video," and then and then right after that, I saw my neighbor's garage was open, and they had this like cool rock hopper just sitting there collecting dust. And he's like, "I think I might go over there and give him a beer and see if I can make a deal for that bike." And I'm like, "Yep, there you go."
But you wants to know how is the DMO1 torque sensor feel versus Bafang? So we can't even feel the Bafang one.
I can't. The Bafang there is no torque sensing. It's almost not even any cadence sensing. It's like a switch. You start pedaling and then it just goes. You stop pedaling and it just keeps going, and then about 2 seconds later it stops. I had it in pedal assist 1 in the lowest gear, and I was getting up to 11 miles per hour, just barely going like this. It was so frustrating.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, if you guys are enjoying the show, if you like the content, hit the like button. If you want, I don't know, is there a dislike button?
I hope not.
I think there's only a like button. Oh, there is a dislike button.
There is. Okay, so make sure you don't finger the dislike button,
or click either one. I don't know. Do you don't hit the dislike.
Be honest.
There's no dislike button. I was joking.
Yeah, that's true. All right, cool.
Brad wants to know if there's a blood alcohol limit when riding e-bikes. I feel like you have to. There's no limit, right? You could drink as much as you want.
No, there's got to be something. Like it's got to be like the same as a bicycle, right? I mean, you can't drunk drive on a bicycle, can you?
I guess not, right?
There's got to be something.
Operating a vehicle. Well, there's operating a vehicle and there's operating a motor. If it's a motor vehicle.
So technically, if depending on where you're at, but if it's 750 watts or less, and it's a class 1 or something like that, like there's no throttle, it's considered a bicycle. So I wonder if there is, like, could you be blackout drunk driving? That would be a good YouTube video to do, like the head title. Can you drive an e-bike legally while blackout drunk? And then we'll do a class 1, class 2, and a class 3. We'll drive by the police station and see what happens. Anybody want to volunteer for that? So we can answer so we could answer Brad Nelson's question. Anybody who wants to?
Luke Walker, if you do, I mean, it's not that we're advising you to do that. We should probably say that. It's not.
No, we're not advising you. Yeah, and if you guys want, I feel like a lot of you guys maybe aren't
these guys.
Oh, that's the one thing I was going to say too. If you guys are watching this, I think the 2.7 motors are going to be coming down in price a little bit in a little bit. But early adopters, you're going to have to pay a little bit, but I've heard that it's going to be coming down a little bit. So
what's a little bit, like a few bucks?
Yeah, it could be like $50, something like that. Could be a little bit more. We don't know. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit as I start ordering more in bulk and I get a little bit more. So that's something to look forward to. But just keep that between you and me, guys. Okay, that may be coming down the pike. Oh, Tesla is. I've heard that the 4680 cells. They're going to be pop cans. They're just going to be shoving pop cans full of lithium in there. Those are big cells, but and that's good. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be getting even bigger too for cars. Like you need to have put out especially the kind of power that Tesla's putting out. So yeah, definitely way too big for an e-bike. I think it's overkill. But all right, anybody else want to call in, or anybody else got anything else they want to chime in on this lovely Valentine's Day?
I'm noticing that there's a delay between us and YouTube. Like, I think YouTube's like 5 minutes behind. All right, we got
one more. We got one more.
Call from
Dave.
Dave.
Hey, Dave, you're live with Johnny Nerd Out.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thanks, man. Same to you. I've been following you for a while. Bought a kit from you. I got a 52-volt BBS HD. And I was just wondering, I usually ride it with pedals, but sometimes I just let it drag me around. And I was wondering, what's a safe motor temperature? You know, I got like a little laser reader. I just point at it.
Good question.
Yeah, that's great. Most people don't have an actual temperature gauge, and I always tell people if it's too hot to touch, like if it's hot, if you can feel like it's almost like dinner hot. So I don't know what that'd be like 160 probably is where it's starting to get a little bit. And I noticed with those photons, like 180 is about. That's like where I don't like to get it hotter than that. The Bafangs I feel like might be able to handle a little bit better, but I would probably still keep it to like 160, 180, I guess.
That seems high. Google's saying like 140.
Okay.
140? Yeah, Shane's saying 140 is what Google's saying. I would just say if it's hot to the touch.
Hotter than that a few times.
You've gotten it hotter than that?
I don't think I've ever been over 180, but I know it's been over 140. It's been pretty hot to the touch.
Okay, yeah, I would just be careful with it. If it's getting too hot, I think you might be, especially if you're running the stock grease. I mean, the grease might be taking a beating if you're running it, especially if you're hitting over like 200 and stuff like that occasionally. I mean, there's times where, man, I've raced mine up the hill. I got a super steep hill by the shop, and when I'm running up it and I'm going full bore, I mean, that motor will just heat up super fast.
Right.
I don't even know. That's a good question. I do have a... No, I don't. I think, I do have a thermometer up there. I should, I got to test mine.
Carry it with
That's
you.
a great question. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good video.
Does it, do any of the displays for Bafang, do they have,
That'd be
the
awesome
temperature?
if y'all did a video about that. Yeah, because I carry that little thing around in my pocket there every now and then.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's cool that you do that. But I would definitely just, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot. Like, let it cool down for a little bit. Or gear down. I would say, like, gear down and use the throttle only, so that thing is spinning maximum RPM. I feel like a lot of times that keeps the motor cooler than pedal assisting and having it, doing max power, even if you're helping it, but the motor isn't spinning fast. That's worse than if you were to gear down by about 3 gears and just let that thing max spin. It's kind of counterintuitive. Yeah, keep those RPMs as high as you can, especially if you're climbing. Low RPMs is what's going to get that temperature going up high.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, say it again.
I was gonna say I've put about 500 miles on this kit. It's really done great. I haven't had a bit of trouble really, other than breaking some stock parts on the bike. But
yeah, yeah, and the worst case, and people are always like, how many miles can these motors last for? And it really is just like it will just last forever. Whatever, if you say worst case scenario, you burnt out that motor. Like you were riding it too hot and it burnt out. Just get a new stator. It's like $150 or something like that for a new stator. And that's like the guts of the motor. That's pretty much the entire motor. And just flop that in. So it's like $150 to essentially replace your motor. Controller, you may burn out a controller, but I haven't really seen too many of that problems. But that's like $120, maybe something like that. So I don't know. It just, as things break, if they ever do, just replace them. But those are the two most expensive parts. But yeah, no, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I should make a video on that.
The Photon, I caps out at 212. Like that's.
Yeah, and that's and then by that point, it's already like
Bad news.
I'm dying. It's dead. Yeah, the Bafang I feel like can handle that and just keep going.
Okay. All right. Hey, man. Well, I appreciate you taking
Cool.
the call and answering my questions.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Hey. All right. Have a good one.
So yeah, Benji's saying they're getting stuttering issues with the stream. My wife was also saying that the same thing is happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a bad internet day. Could be.
Maybe. Make sure that it's live. So if you click on if you're on your phone, there's a little live button. Sometimes the stream will like hold you back. So if you hit the live button, you'll get caught back up. David Parker wants to know if we'll be selling any 2.7 motor kits. Like we can make custom invoice for whatever you want. If you want to email me.
Yeah. A lot of places. I don't know if they'll do that, but if you want to give us a call or email us, like we'll just. If you don't want to like click and do all this stuff, or you're not sure what to do, like me or Shane will just give you a custom invoice.
Yeah. People were catching up with the drinking and driving. Luke says, "Don't do it."
Hey, that's a hot take.
So Michael was talking about, and I saw somebody else say it too, that like the 2.7 would be they were considering it, but it only goes up to 110, 110 millimeter.
Yeah, that's I saw Michael was saying. Oh yeah, there it is. 120 BB. I talked about this a couple weeks ago when I had my talk with 2.7. And I asked him, I was like, what was your reasoning behind the 110? And they're like, I don't know. Like, we'll get back to you on that. So I told them, I was like, we need 120. Like, you're leaving so many bikes. You can't, the 110 is not going to fit the 120. So I don't know why they did that. If anything, just do a 120 and a 68 millimeter, like a 68-73 and a 120. And then just give us a bunch of spacers so we can put the 120 on a 100 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why the 110. It was such a weird thing. So I'm gonna stay with them. I think they had like the machines that make the motors. There was something to do with that. But I'm working with them, and I have a direct line with them, and I'm really 120. I'm gonna be really pushing for a 120 version.
Joseph Hopkins. So my wife and I were in Amish country a couple months ago. And they have full-on drunk the e-bike Kool-Aid. Not that big of a leap to Teslas. So I guess that e-bikes over in the...
Man, I used to do the CABDA conventions, the bike shows. We used to go when I worked at the e-bike company, and I remember a lot of Amish people would come there. A lot of Amish, and they all ran bike shops, and they were big on the e-bikes. Like it was crazy. I was like, I've never, really seen. It was like we went to Amish land.
Do the Amish? Do they have YouTube? Do you think we got anybody watching right now?
I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know if they can call in. Do they? I'm probably behind on the times on like what Amish people.
Yeah,
are.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure, but I think they could use computers and stuff.
They do that now.
I don't know. We're taking a left turn here. Yeah. I'm not quite sure.
I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you guys.
If anyone knows, if anybody could call in and answer this, very important stuff. I got a ticket in the 70s. I'm 75. Oh. What? Oh, okay.
Wrong gear, low motor RPM equals high heat underload. So we're like I said, we're we're probably like 5 minutes ahead. So like people are going to be seeing us respond to their. I think it's YouTube. I'm going to blame it on YouTube. The delay. Do you
hopefully you guys are able to catch this at least on the reviews.
Well, I think the video itself will probably be fine. I think that YouTube like
it'll
somehow
buffer.
fixes things later.
Hopefully this isn't all for naught. Keith Benjamin was talking about gears, about like not getting it too hot. That happens all the time. He was saying that the guy he sold his bike to started climbing a hill using the 11 tooth, which is the 11 tooth is it's the smallest gear in the back, but it's your highest gear. So it's like if you're in a car and you're in a manual transmission, it's like your sixth gear. You do not want to start climbing a hill in sixth gear. And a lot of people they don't get that. They're just like, oh, it's electric. It's solid state. I could just be in whatever. I would go in the high gear and that'll make me go fast. But people just don't, they don't get it. And it's kind of, it's kind of like using a motorcycle. And I know it's a bad analogy because I don't think we want to be drawing comparisons to e-bikes and motorcycles because it's like a bad connotation because then people want to register it and they want to do this stuff. But when you're riding it, you got to use that mentality so that you don't break your stuff on a mid-drive. If you're driving like a hub motor, it's a different mentality. It's like riding a scooter. I mean, it's different. But if you're riding a mid-drive, you got to have a different mentality. It's like you got to be one with it, and then you unlock its potential. It has a huge performance boost over a hub motor if you're using it right. And you got to make sure that you're using that power band, the gears and stuff. And it's different if you're using it for pedal assist and if you're using it for throttle. If you're using it for throttle, you want that RPM to be even higher. You want it to be almost max. And if you're using pedal assist, you want your legs to be going pretty much at max. Not so much that you're causing yourself strain or hurt, but at least 60 RPM ideally. 60 to 80 would be ideal. If 90, if you could keep it up. I mean, some people with mobility issues can't do 90 RPM cadence, but so yeah, it kind of depends how you're riding it. But yeah, you want it to be max RPM as much as possible. Okay, so is there anything else? I think we're at time. I think we're at about an hour. Sorry for running late tonight, guys. For those of us joining us live, thank you for our caller-inners. Thank you guys for the comments you guys were doing. It keeps the conversation going. I thoroughly enjoy doing this. I hope you guys